RiffTrax. Why you always gotta pick RiffTrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for RiffTrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 49 of every RiffTrax short reviewed, where I take 5 RiffTrax shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, because I don't think a bad RiffTrax short exists. Today marks a special occasion in the series, as we finally get to the first Bridget and Mary Jo short. I hope you're as excited as I am to finally get into their hilarious escapades. But not only do we have the lovely women of RiffTrax, but, as to be expected, some great entries from our usual trio. So let's not waste any more time and dive right into episode 49 of every RiffTrax short reviewed. Number 241, Study Skills, Verbal Communication Made Easy, from March 11th, 2015.
Sometimes the meanings of things we say can be changed by the way we talk.
Oh, really? That's very interesting. Oh, hey, he's right.
Talking. We all do it. Some of us more than others, like myself, for instance. But listening to people talking, on the other hand, less people seem to do that. But both are critical in communication. This short shows off several vignettes that show how disastrous it can be if people don't understand what others are saying. For example, you could show up for a football game dressed for a costume party. You may lose a touch football game. You may not be able to watch sitcoms, I guess. But not only is it important for you to listen, but also to make sure other people can get your meaning through their thick skulls. We need to be confident in how we speak so we aren't too shy. But not too confident, because a little fear forces us to need to prepare our words. You can be confident and capable and fearful at the same time, you fools.
As we got older, one way we learned to tell others our more complicated thoughts and feelings was by talking and listening.
If that doesn't work, try a vial of acid to the
To
face.
exchange ideas.
The Cavaliers were counter-majoritarian royalists during the English Civil War.
Friday night. The game is tonight.
He wasn't listening, and listening is just as important to communicating as speaking.
If he'd listened, he would have heard his dad say, "What the hell are you wearing?" and "I have no son."
Learning about what goes on in the world depends upon speaking and listening.
Oh yeah, headline news, radical.
911.
Good verbal communication is important to our safety.
Scrambled egg elephant umbrella car.
911 emergency.
Janice's words do explain what happened, but the tone of her voice and the way she stands makes her message very hard to accept.
It's like she's daring her mother to execute her for disobedience.
But there are...
Janice gives her reasons just as before, but listen to how the tone of her voice is different. And look at how she's more relaxed and friendly.
It's how she tricks her victims into drawing near.
Senator,
Oh, hello. Yes, what can I do for you?
do you ever feel afraid when you have to communicate with groups of people?
There are only those bloodthirsty ghouls in the AARP.
Well, I didn't even prepare notes. After all, I drew it. When it came time to speak to all those people,
Also 4 pigs and a cow named Chairman Moo.
I imagine all sorts of terrible things. I imagine that everything I would say would be boring.
Senator, is corn grass? That's all I want to know, sir.
People would laugh.
When you know how to present your subject well, you have a much better chance of keeping your audience interested.
Not a good chance, a better chance, a slightly less completely hopeless chance.
I learned that sometimes a little fear can be useful. It can warn you to get prepared. Like a runner warming up before a race.
A terror race where the runners are pursued by screaming clowns.
I'm ready.
The short goes on to show 2 boys in a movie theater reenacting every single back and forth on any social media platform ever invented. One boy loved the movie and the other hated it, but neither can express why until the narrator steps in. These kids will never be able to fake their college essays with descriptive skills like that, man. In addition to description, you need to be comfortable so your conversation can flow, but not too comfortable or you can come off as disrespectful to the situation, like in a stuffy job interview. Also gotta make sure you speak slowly enough to be heard, but not too slow to sound condescending. Like seriously, Short, what do you want from us? I was getting along fine until today, and now I'm doubting everything I've ever said before this moment.
That was a terrible movie.
What do you mean, terrible?
Terrible. Why, looking in the mirror, watching your hair grow.
Like watching Kristen Stewart eat rice pudding.
Much fun is cleaning.
I think you two might find something interesting if you stop trying to drown each other out.
You're both equally wrong and annoying.
Yeah, why? I agree, the story was a little weak.
Way to flip-flop,
About the rescue
Steve.
here on the waterfall.
Yeah, the water.
And now I think it's time for the second feature.
Hey, thanks for your help.
Right, thanks a lot.
Who was that guy? I don't know. I thought you knew him.
That's for sure. The vegetable that really turns me off is broccoli.
Not like that naughty, sensual kale.
Well, for starters,
So that's what we call informal language. Now listen to this.
I taught myself beatboxing. Boom, boom.
According to your resume here, John, you've had experience working. You worked as a computer technician for 2 years, and as an instructor for a year after that.
Says your hobbies include
Look at
bounty
what
hunting.
could happen when
Cool.
someone uses an...
Very good, John. I think you're the one for the job. Welcome to Cosmo Computers.
Thank you, Mr. Cosmo. I look forward to working here.
May I sit in your lap to seal the deal?
Good verbal communication. When you're speaking to people, they're not only listening to what you're saying, they're also watching you.
Silently judging.
And especially...
Then the little hiawatha.
Excuse me, but what you really need to do here is make eye contact.
She's blind, you bastard.
There are other ways verbal communication can run amok. Let's consider this situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this has a mock written all over it.
It's up there on the left side of the lens mount. Your left? The lens mount is the big black thing on the front of the camera.
Even the kids were on coke back then.
If you go too fast, people won't understand what you're saying.
Okay, Terry. First, push.
Ah, I see the problem. Linda
One
is
symbol
kind of a
with
bitch.
down.
You can't speak too slowly if you want to hold people's attention. Watch their expressions.
Don't hit me.
That way you can tell whether they...
All right, Terry.
I hope Simon Cowell destroys her.
Be well prepared and understand that fear is natural.
Life is fear,
Look
children.
at the people you're talking to.
Can't wait to see everyone's costumes. Me too. Come on, let's go. Okay.
Let's tear this mother up.
Verbal communication.
As confusing as the narrator's instructions may be, Mike's beatboxing narrator bit alone makes this short worth the price of admission, and I've got to give this one a 5 out of 5.
When you take a little time to investigate what you're hearing, it can make a big difference in what you understand.
For to completening understandingness of listenhood.
Number 242, Starting School, from March 27th, 2015.
Some of the things we talk about are the different kinds of work people do. I'm a waitress.
Or pretty much anything but a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, or people who make aimless educational shorts. What a bunch of losers.
We open the short with a narrator introducing us and passing narration duties over to a little boy named Dean. And with a title like Starting School, you'd think it would be about Dean starting school. Well, guess what? You would have failed that test. It's not about Dean at all, but an older friend of his who's already started school. Terry then takes over narration now and begins to tell us all about how school goes, and not a single fascinating detail is left out. The teacher counts the kids learn opposites, they pretend to do chores, and it's just as brilliant on the silver screen as you'd expect.
The name of this movie is Starting School. That's what you will be doing soon.
I will? I didn't sign up for this.
I'm afraid so. This is an intervention, Kevin.
But I already went to school. I mean, lots of school.
Whatever. Here's your trapper keeper and some markers. Now get on the bus.
Go on.
Sometimes when I go for a ride, I see different schools. Some are new and some are old.
But none of them can hold me.
In the morning, I see kids going to the school. Some of my friends are older and they can go.
Dean's always bragging about his older friends. We get it, Dean. You're cool.
Other kids go. Mrs. Singer and Mrs. Cox, who helps her, are already there getting ready.
They learned how to set up the room from the short setting up a room. This is my country now. Bow to me.
Who knows the name of the new month?
Septobuary.
Opposites. Who can tell me some opposites that you know?
Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat?
Oh, do it.
Someone get that kid a belt. He's wearing his dad's pants.
Now you're...
Look at that great big Santa Claus!
Jeez, lay off the helium, Janice.
Aw, so cute when kids are still dumb enough to think chores are fun.
And that's about it. Just a bunch of little kids in school. They discuss careers based solely on outfits of paper cutouts. They have lunch for a while. They have an Indian powwow for some reason. And then they put on an entire fairy tale play? Like, what the heck? Was all public school like this, guys? My mother's homeschooling didn't prepare me for this at all. Then the teacher reads to them, something my mom did do, and therefore I can fully understand. And that's it. Terry's narration ends, Dean picks it back up to send us out into the credits, and that's starting school.
Uh-huh. Mark, what do you want to be? I didn't hear what you said.
Telephone person!
A telephone person. What would you be doing?
Yelling in constant rage, apparently.
Telephone person!
Uh-huh, and helping people to use the telephone. I have some people here today. My people don't have any clothes.
Uh-oh. Where are you going with this lady?
Why do we got the napkins?
I will be silenced no longer. These Oreos are filled with Hydrox cream. The Emperor wears no clothes!
Teacher, what happened to the Indians?
They lived happily ever after. Be quiet.
Sometimes we can see the school secretary and the principal and the assistant principal.
The assistant principal is like a more important Joe Biden.
Remember, the second kid is describing all this to the boy who can't go to school from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
All the others away. Number 3 this time.
Does a straight beat a flush? Get my ass handed to me here.
Okay, take all the other numbers away except for 3.
Okay, 3. Think, Kyle. You saw this episode of Sesame Street. Who was the guy who taught you how to count? Gordon, I think?
That's it. Very, very good.
These kids have learned more in one afternoon than I did in 4 years of college.
And Goldilocks did what?
Ugh, why do I need the stupid cardboard? How much more can I look like a little girl?
Huh. Okay, cameraman, thanks for that.
I'm waiting for my friends when they come home.
Being a framing device sucks.
They show me.
While the premise of this short didn't need to be anywhere near as convoluted as it was, the riffs are great, and it earns a 3.5 out of 5.
1, 2.
Yes, everyone was happy until Mr. Bungle gave his scared straight talk that afternoon.
To pass out the snacks.
Number 243, with an all-star cast from April 17th, 2015.
Then, we turn the meat.
This guy's one flubbed line away from being sent to the Hormel hide cellar.
Nowadays, if someone told you you'd be watching something titled With an All-Star Cast, what kind of production would come to mind? Probably some star-studded huge Hollywood production. Maybe something that's taking a unique look at Hollywood itself. Or maybe something like the Kenneth Branagh, Agatha Christie mystery movies, which have tons of celebrities from Gal Gadot, to Judi Dench, to Michelle Pfeiffer, to Willem Dafoe, to Armie Hammer. Anyway, suffice it to say, you'd expect to see popular actors of the day. Well, who in this short are the big stars you're revving up to see? Meat. Yep, just meat. Tons of it. Poundage and poundage of beef, pork, lamb, all just being cooked. But let's start at the beginning. An actor's trying to film a scene, and he just can't do it because he has no clue what he's talking about. Because, you know, actors can only act when they're representing exactly who they actually are onto the screen. The director gets frustrated and tells the home economist they have on the crew for some reason that the actor needs to learn by the time he's back from getting coffee. The crew decides that while she's giving the lessons, maybe filming it would be a smart idea.
Are they really all stars?
Let's see.
Well, Geraldine Lean, star. Rush Reed, star. Maurice Copeland, Ward Bentley, Jack Stillwell. Yep, this checks out, guys. They really are all stars.
Look at that, huh?
When the meat is brown on one side, then we add the seasoning.
Okay, thanks, weird-hatted lunatic. Who are you?
Look, after all, I'm a dramatic actor. I don't know anything about cooking.
Yeah, I'm a dramatic actor, like Shakespeare and stuff.
The camera starts to roll.
Look, I know he's related to a vice president, and it's client orders, but we've got a picture to make.
So I want you to stab him in the eye with his own meat fork.
So that he can do
Go
a
ahead.
couple of simple little scenes without blowing his stack.
Well, I can certainly try.
I don't know you or work here or anything, but I'll try.
Meat cuts would be proud to serve any day of the week.
Certain meat cuts are embarrassing to serve on some days of the week.
Chosen this sliced bacon, and Canadian-style bacon.
Which is ham.
Now I'll put...
She's a sexual dynamo.
I can't disagree.
And also prevents it from cooking in its own juices.
Which would be as big a tragedy as the Hindenburg disaster.
Before, during, or... Beef, as you know, is cooked rare, medium, or well done.
This was before the godless hybrid medium rare was invented.
Lamb, medium or well done, and pork, always well done.
If a pork chop isn't hard and dense as a hockey puck, it's not ready.
300 to 300. Yes, when these meat cuts have been prepared properly, we're sure to please everybody.
Even those America-hating vegans.
Getting anything?
Yeah, it looks okay from here.
I love filming women without their knowledge.
About halfway through, the director returns, happy the lesson seems to be going well, but moving them along as quick as possible. The cinematographer and director's assistant keep themselves quiet, knowing the director wouldn't like the idea of the shoot, despite it actually being really good. The parade of meat goes on and on and on as the home economist keeps teaching the difference between searing, pan-frying, roasting, etc. Not only has she been cooking, but an off-screen woman named Mary has been making even more meat, which is then shown off on fully set dinner tables without a single diner in sight. Once the teaching's finished, the director is ready to finally start shooting, but his assistant assures him the work is done. The director gets pretty heated before, looking at the footage, but he's told it's perfect. He then just angrily agrees before, looking at the footage. Quite the haphazard film shoot if I've ever seen one.
These thick English lamb chops, when broiled, are something extra special.
That's why we store them in this fake fridge on a film set.
Bone, sirloin, rib. So that we can use the broiler, Miss Peterson has removed the standing ribs of beef and brought it into the backstage kitchen.
Why is he laughing at her? This guy's kind of simple, isn't he?
To the broiler pan.
Aren't you ever going to finish?
Yes, we're moving right along.
Even the movie is bored with itself.
Serve them immediately while they're hot and at their very best.
And watch your happy guests drop dead from heart attacks.
They are delicious. And, of course, an outstanding source.
Use these dumb little vegetables to sop up any pork fat that gets away from you.
It's an important part. You may want to brush the pan slightly with melted lard to prevent beef or lamb patties from sticking.
Beef patty was peppermint patty's even butcher sister.
Miss Peterson has been preparing some of the other meat cuts. Mary?
Grease fire!
Are the meats ready?
Everything's burning!
Can we show them to Mr. Carpenter now?
Ah!
There it is, Mr. Distinctive in flavor and appetite appeal.
The parade of congealing gray lumps marches on.
And another truly great meat cut.
Channing Tatum.
The beef standing rib roast.
Sorry.
Perfectly done. That's it, Mr. Carpenter. The basic method used to prepare some of the American family's traditional favorites.
Mrs. Morgan.
The line was, salad is for commies.
What?
Henry Slinkman bought 3 pints of oysters.
I'm telling you.
Kevin, look at the peas.
I'm looking at them. I see them.
Look at them harder.
I see them, Mike.
Keep looking at them.
Look at the peas, Kevin. Looking at the peas.
Go to hell, Walt Disney. This right here is the real carousel of progress.
While the subject of the short isn't quite as star-powered as we were led to believe, the riffs are great and the short is an easy watch, and it gets a 4.5 out of 5.
So the meat is 2 to 3 inches from the heat, depending on the broiler and the thickness of the steaks or chops.
With an all-star cast, everyone!
Tinseltown.
Number 244, The Myths of Shoplifting, from May 19th, 2015.
Perhaps the strangest statistic about shoplifting is that the majority of shoplifters can afford to pay for what they steal.
It's true, the Hamburglar is a secret billionaire.
Excitement of ripping.
Unlike the previous short, this one's title is 100% accurate. It shows many teenagers deciding to make a terrible mistake by shoplifting in local department stores and the like. It opens with a young woman named Gail getting away with swiping a wallet. She immediately tells her best friend about it, who's rightfully weirded out by this. Gail says no one gets hurt when shoplifting, and no shoplifters ever even get caught thieving, which just shows she's literally never worked in retail before. She goes on to tell her friend that it was super easy, and she even got a bit of a high from it. And next thing you know, Gail's gonna be on the FBI's most wanted list. After the narrator shows us all the latest in security tech, we see a teen get peer pressured into stealing, showing his own lack of morals for putting fear of his friend being a jerk over the inherent ills of breaking a law, and it goes just about as well as you would think.
This film is going to examine some of the more popular myths about shoplifting. Myths about shoplifting? You better believe it. This is one case where what you don't know can hurt you.
For instance, did you know that many security guards are actually deadly cyborgs?
The good, the bad, and the... Oh my God, I didn't expect it to work out that well. Ugly.
How much was it?
You promise you won't tell? I stole it.
You what?
Yeah, I stole it off some guy I
Took it off the
stabbed.
table and put it in my bag.
Gail, how could you steal something?
Oh, don't be silly, Marcia. It's only worth $10.
Much less than this convertible she jacked in the parking lot.
Doesn't hurt anybody.
Did you ever stop to think who pays for it? You do. Stores have
Well, no, not if I just steal everything.
to cover their losses.
It was kind of a trick. Exciting. Oh, and it was so easy.
I could never do it.
Why not? It was my first time.
Well, I'll just stick to my arsons.
Caught.
Electronic tags, clipped onto garments or attached to other merchandise. Try leaving a store without having a clerk remove the tag, and an alarm sounds.
In stores without alarms, the staff will make loud woo-woo noises.
Mirrors, highly trained plainclothes store detectives of all ages, posing as customers.
Blind customers?
It all adds up in favor of the stores and against the potential shoplifter.
The skulls of the shoplifters are displayed as a reminder.
Pack, you stick it in your... Okay, where you gonna be? Right here. I wouldn't leave you, okay? Now, go on. Go on.
The Big Brothers program was much cooler back then.
Oh, way to stereotype. Of course the shoplifter is a folk rock contemporary fan.
After being ditched by his friend, the kid's parents are called into the station, and it's so uncomfortable and sad to see. However, the short knew he'd feel bad as the next consequences come to his jerk friend. Curly here goes into some sort of proto-Best Buy, looking to swipe a calculator. Back in 2015, when I first saw this short, I thought that was a stupid thing to steal, but I'd always had my dad's old calculator to use from when he went to college. But man, new calculators are expensive as heck. The store owner is no fool, though, and calls the cops on the kid, who not only gets caught like his friend, but gets straight up arrested and put in a holding cell. But much like Gale, he sees it as a trip instead of actually regretting what he did. And finally, it shows that even if you stole years ago as a stupid teenager, you could lose potential jobs through your background check. They can't trust you now if you've been arrested for shoplifting 5+ years ago, because forgiveness and character growth as a person are also a myth.
Excuse me, young man.
Bad cops, you're busted, dirtbag.
What's gonna happen to you, believe me.
Please come with me to the security office.
Hey, I'll see you tomorrow, Tommy. I gotta run.
Your attorney sucks, kid.
Number 3.
All right, kid, you're sentenced to help old ladies try on shoes.
Oh, no!
Caught.
There you go. Name?
Professor Horace Slughorn.
Others prefer to deal directly with the offender's family, especially if the shoplifter is under 18.
Or was Winona Ryder.
I mean, look, you have an allowance, you have a part-time job. Tell me, why do you have to do something like this? You've never done anything like it before.
Oh, thank God, he doesn't know about the Lufthansa heist.
Very few kids who go through...
I felt like a thief.
Wait, felt like a thief? You were a thief. Hey, come back here.
Yeah, please, I'd like to see that camera.
Which one?
Oh, the second one from the left, I guess.
The one with the eye holes and junk.
This
Yeah,
is our
that's it.
self-focusing model.
How much?
$99.50.
Do you offer a 5-finger discount?
It's a little bit more than that. I didn't take anything, okay?
Then you won't object if I ask you to empty your pockets for me?
You're damn right I'd object. You have a search warrant?
Don't try this stunt at the sunglasses and search warrant
When I
hut.
saw you take the calculator.
Charles Evans.
Charles Evans. All right, you're under arrest, Charles, for larceny by shoplifting.
We're going to turn you over to the Nerd Crimes Division.
Right to an attorney.
Calculator.
You say can.
A slap on the wrist. But that's it.
Jeez, rough place. I better tell my cellmate I stole a
myths.
graphing calculator.
Hey.
Man, that guard was easy to bribe.
Oh, man. Anyway, it doesn't even go on your record.
Myth number 5.
A duck's quack doesn't
The
echo,
arrest doesn't stay.
You're over 18 and responsible for your actions.
including that dumbass
In this state,
vest.
that means your court records are not sealed, as they are with a juvenile. This arrest stays on your record.
All right, then, on to my embezzlement hearing.
Well, Susan, I think that's all we need. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I was once arrested for shoplifting. Oh,
Well,
why did I say
As
that?
far as I'm concerned.
Most employers, with the applicant's permission, acquire what's called an investigative consumer report from a consumer reporting agency about that applicant.
It's why so few cannibals are hired to be
Showed
teachers.
Susan was caught trying to shoplift a $15 scarf when she was 19. She wasn't arrested. Now, 5 years later, she's about to be turned down for a job she really wants.
At the Scarf Emporium.
Remember myth number 6? Is it worth it? Is it really worth the price?
Especially when purse snatching is far more lucrative.
This short is so good. It's been a go-to for me since it premiered 7 years ago, and it will continue to be for years to come. So, of course, it earns a 5 out of 5.
Once it's over for good.
Prepare to live a life haunted by scarves and calculators.
Think about the...
Number 245, Life in the Suburbs from June 12th, 2015.
While the kids are young, many of the mothers try to stay at home, which isn't always so easy either.
Well, not when you've got a dogfighting ring to run and sell Avon.
Ah, here we go. A short that would start a beautiful thing. This is the first ever riff performed solely by Bridget Nelson and Mary Jo on RiffTrax. Their riffs have an even more off-the-cuff feel than Mike, Kevin, and Bill's do. It truly feels like you're hanging out with your friends on the couch, seeing these shorts and films for the first time together. They'll have many, many more iconic performances to come. But let's get into this one, shall we? This short is all about suburban families, what it's like to move from a fast-paced city life when you're hot and single to settling down with a spouse and family, moving to the quiet, calm, child-friendly suburbs. And it's just as old-fashioned, American dreamy as you can imagine. Breakfast on the stove, kids in the tub, dad reading the paper, all that jazz. But new parents can't be expected to go on this journey alone. No, it's up to Redbook, the magazine for young adults, to aid them on their quest for the perfect life.
The suburbs where love is the law.
The suburb life in the suburbs has its good moments and others not so good.
Oh no! Our pointless wall.
Remember?
When you drank a bottle of Kirkland vodka and passed out at the bus station?
We've got to move.
Says the 4-year-old who calls the shots.
Soon to absorb its familiar sounds.
I miss the city.
Anybody home?
She won't let us out.
Come on, you've got your Halloween candy in there.
It's the killer. Slowly he stalks.
People in a certain living situation with particular interests and particular goals.
With a particular love of toast.
Now I don't have any sharp parts to fall on.
And I'm Franken, baby.
When it's good to
What are they, emerging from a black hole?
I know.
Take that, Botany 500.
Take that, Philip Morris.
Take that, itchy butt.
and welcome solid information in concise form.
Tune up, $7. What are we, millionaires?
And when they buy a house and have a baby,
They realize they'll never see their artist friends in the city again.
Now, you've got the spouse, you've got the baby, you've got the suburban Barbie dream house. Now what? Well, after dropping untold thousands on that house, it's time to go shopping, of course. Shopping centers suddenly hold a great purpose in your life. You can shove your kids off on the Play Place employees and get your own kind of fun in searching for just the right furnishings for your new home.
It's a big market.
I'm not sure that young adults had to be encouraged to shop at these miles and miles of stores, seeing as how it seems they're all shopping there already, but the short decides to completely dive into how great and beautiful and perfect and lovely malls are, and why you should be there right now, you idiot. What are you doing watching this when you could be spending money? And did I mention after shopping at the center, you can shove your kids off on your neighbors and go back with your spouse to party all night long? What could be better?
Because the people who created the suburbs are young adults. And the shopping centers are built in their image.
And it was good.
Selling to young adults demands a new kind of marketing.
So scientists developed the phrase new and improved, and it just kind of worked.
The shopping centers have built fountains, commissioned statues.
Larry?
Put in restaurants.
No. No with the hats.
God, no.
Score, she got 2 husbands.
Since these young adults seem to be able to outlast their children, they stash them away at a neighbor's house and go back to the center for more.
In this case, Potterville Center. 3 men died in that mall, George, because you weren't there to stop them from putting in a Ruby Tuesday. So stash your kids and party. Why don't you stash your kids and party? I said stash your kids and party. Yeah! Woo!
Take it away, Bridget.
Before Red Book could develop a successful selling program for young adults, it had to get out and see them many different ways.
It had to see them in a plaid dress. It had to see them water the grass.
They're serious. And no wonder.
The malls turned out to be POW camps.
I wonder whether we could be happy in a place like that.
Or would I still be annoying?
When we brought the baby home, I thought Billy looked awfully worried.
Turns out he is awfully disturbed.
Everything's the same. There's never anything new.
Everything is the same, and there's never anything new.
Ride with the young adults who are buying 70% of all homes.
And 100% of all kitchen chairs.
Is there a chair?
Swing into the orbit of more than 2.5 million.
This short is a banger of a start for our Riffin' ladies, and they have even better entries down the line, so this one gets a 4.5 out of 5.
To build a durable relationship with each reader, Red Book edits for one person at a time.
So it'll be a while before we actually publish.
Thank you all so much for watching, and as usual, huge thanks to all of my beautiful Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, and Isabella Summit. We're coming up on the big 5-0 for this series, which is absolutely insane. But in the meantime, I thought we had some awesome entries here, especially introducing Bridget and Mary Jo shorts, which we'll now see lots of going forward. So I hope you enjoyed this episode too. And if you just like me and my videos in general, I would hope to join me in our great little community on Twitch, where we have MST and RiffTrax watch parties every Monday and Friday night at 7 Central. The link will be in the description, and I hope to see you at the next one. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
It's time for RiffTrax.